In the heart of suburban Ohio, where rows of modest two-story homes lined tree-lined streets, stood a house that seemed like any other. But behind its white picket fence and neatly trimmed hedges lay a world divided, not by walls or doors, but by perception. Growing up in this unassuming home were Lily and Emma, two sisters whose lives intertwined yet diverged under the same roof. Their childhood was filled with laughter, chatter, and the occasional sibling squabble, but beneath the surface simmered an unspoken divide, a chasm carved not by choice, but by the relentless gaze of others. From the moment they entered the world, it was clear that Lily and Emma were destined for contrasting paths. Emma, with her statuesque frame, cascading golden hair, and piercing blue eyes, could have stepped straight out of a glossy magazine spread. Her beauty wasn't just undeniable, it was magnetic, drawing admiration from everyone she encountered. Strangers would stop their mother at the local Kroger on Main Street to marvel at how perfect Emma looked, often overlooking Lily entirely. Meanwhile, Lily, petite and unassuming, with unruly curls of chestnut brown hair and wide hazel eyes, was described as cute. While Emma commanded attention wherever she went, Lily's presence faded into the background, overshadowed by her sister's radiant glow. One memory burned vividly in Lily's mind, a day that marked the beginning of a lifelong struggle. It was Emma's 8th birthday, and the house had been transformed into a wonderland of pink balloons, glittering streamers, and fairy lights strung across the living room ceiling. Emma wore a princess-like gown, her golden locks tied back with a matching bow, while Lily donned a simple blue dress. She felt pretty, but plain, next to Emma's dazzling appearance. As guests arrived, they flocked to Emma like moths to a flame, showering her with compliments. "You look like a little princess, Emma," they exclaimed. "You're going to break so many hearts when you grow up." A few kind words came Lily's way. "Lily, you look nice," but they felt hollow compared to the adoration Emma received. That evening, as Lily stood quietly in the corner, clutching a paper plate of uneaten cake, she felt invisible for the first time. It was a feeling that would haunt her for years to come. Family gatherings only deepened the divide. Relatives traveled from as far as Chicago and New York to celebrate holidays together, filling the dining room with laughter and animated conversation. Yet, amidst the warmth, there was always an undertone of favoritism. Aunt Margaret, seated at the head of the table, turned to Emma and said, "Emma, darling, you're looking more stunning than ever. You should be on the cover of a magazine." Everyone nodded in agreement, their eyes fixed on Emma. Then, almost as an afterthought, she added, "And Lily, how are you doing in school?" Lily forced a smile, replying, "I'm doing well, thank you," though the words tasted bitter. No one noticed the flicker of disappointment in her hazel eyes as the conversation quickly shifted back to Emma's latest achievements. Even mundane outings became reminders of the disparity between them. At Cedar Point Amusement Park, strangers would approach their parents, gushing over Emma's beauty. "What a gorgeous child," they'd say. "She should be in movies." Lily stood quietly by their side, wishing for even a fraction of the attention Emma received. These moments carved deep scars into Lily's self-esteem, shaping her belief that she would never measure up. One particularly painful incident occurred during a routine trip to Walmart. As Lily and Emma wandered through the aisles, a woman stopped their mother to comment on their daughters. "Your older girl is absolutely beautiful," she said, her eyes lingering on Emma. Turning briefly to Lily, she added, "And your younger one is cute." The word hung in the air like a verdict, sealing Lily's fate as the overlooked sibling. For days afterward, Lily stared at her reflection in the bathroom mirror, scrutinizing every detail. Her curly hair refused to lie flat, her eyes lacked the sparkle of Emma's, and her small frame paled in comparison to Emma's tall, graceful posture. Each observation gnawed at her confidence, planting seeds of jealousy and inadequacy that would take root and grow over time. Despite these challenges, Lily loved Emma dearly, at least, she tried to. In quieter moments, she found solace in her sister's charm and charisma, taking pride in Emma's accomplishments. Yet, as the years passed, those feelings of invisibility morphed into something heavier, resentment. It wasn't just about the constant comparisons. It was about the growing realization that no matter what she did, she would always live in Emma's shadow. And so, within the walls of their suburban Ohio home, Lily began to retreat further into herself, yearning for a place where she could simply exist without being measured against her sister. In the sprawling suburbs of Ohio, where the red brick school stood as a fortress of youthful dreams and competition, Lily and Emma's paths diverged even further. The halls of their elementary school buzzed with energy, but beneath the cheerful chatter lay a world of contrasts. Emma was the sun that illuminated every corner, while Lily remained in its shadow, struggling to find her own light. The annual talent show became a defining moment in their lives, a spectacle that magnified the chasm between them. Emma had decided to perform a dance routine, pouring her heart into weeks of practice. On the night of the performance, the auditorium was packed with students, parents, and teachers, all eagerly awaiting the acts. When Emma stepped onto the stage, she seemed to transform into something otherworldly. Dressed in a sparkling silver costume that caught the spotlight like stardust, she moved with grace and confidence, each step radiating perfection. The audience erupted into applause, their cheers echoing through the room like thunder. Lily sat in the front row, clapping along with everyone else, but inside, a storm brewed. She watched as people leaped to their feet, whistling and shouting Emma's name. "You're incredible," someone shouted from behind her. Another voice chimed in, "She should be on TV." Lily felt her chest tighten, her hands gripping the edge of her seat until her knuckles turned white. For a fleeting moment, she allowed herself to feel proud of her sister, but pride quickly gave way to jealousy, sharp and bitter. As the applause continued, Lily couldn't shake the feeling that she would never measure up, no matter how hard she tried. After the show, Emma was surrounded by admirers in the gymnasium. "Emma, you were amazing," they gushed, showering her with compliments. One teacher approached her, saying, "If anyone deserves a standing ovation, it's you." Meanwhile, Lily lingered on the sidelines, clutching a plastic cup of punch that tasted sour in her mouth. No one noticed her there, quietly observing the scene unfold. It wasn't just envy, it was a deep-seated ache, a sense of invisibility that gnawed at her soul. The science fair only deepened this divide. Both sisters entered projects, but their approaches couldn't have been more different. Emma chose a visually stunning display about butterflies, complete with intricate drawings and vibrant colors. Her project was a feast for the eyes, drawing crowds of curious onlookers. Lily, on the other hand, focused on a meticulous study of the solar system, filling pages with detailed notes and diagrams. While her work demonstrated effort and intellect, it lacked the visual flair that captivated judges. When the winners were announced, Emma took first place in the artistic category, her trophy gleaming under the fluorescent lights. Lily received an honorable mention, a polite nod to her hard work, but nothing more. Their parents beamed with pride over Emma's achievement, hugging her tightly and congratulating her with enthusiastic words. "You've done such an incredible job, sweetheart," their mother said, her voice brimming with admiration. To Lily, they offered a simple, "Good job, Lily," before turning their attention back to Emma. That evening, as Lily lay awake in bed, she replayed the day's events in her mind. She told herself it didn't matter, that she shouldn't care so much about awards or recognition. But the truth was, it did matter. Every comparison, every overlooked effort chipped away at her self-esteem, leaving her feeling smaller and less significant with each passing year. Social dynamics at school only worsened Lily's feelings of isolation. Emma effortlessly made friends, her charm and charisma drawing others to her like moths to a flame. Boys left love notes in her locker and gathered around her during recess, eager to catch her attention. One afternoon, Lily watched from a distance as a group of boys presented Emma with a bouquet of wildflowers they'd picked from the schoolyard. "You're the prettiest girl here," one of them said shyly, his cheeks flushing red. Lily stood near the edge of the crowd, hoping someone might notice her too. When one of the boys glanced in her direction, he frowned slightly. "Who are you?" he asked, his tone indifferent. Lily forced a smile, muttering, "I'm Emma's sister," before walking away. The question lingered in her mind long after the encounter ended, a cruel reminder that she was always defined in relation to her sister. Even when Lily tried to carve out her own space, she found herself overshadowed. During a group project in class, the teacher assigned roles based on a vote. Despite Lily's efforts to contribute ideas and demonstrate leadership, the majority chose Emma as team captain without hesitation. "Emma's better at organizing things," one classmate explained, shrugging apologetically. Lily nodded silently, swallowing the lump in her throat, but inside, she seethed with frustration. One particularly painful incident occurred during a pep rally for the school's spring festival. Emma had been chosen to lead the opening ceremony, dressed in a flowing gown that made her look like royalty. As she delivered her speech, the crowd cheered wildly, their adoration palpable. Afterward, a teacher approached Lily, patting her shoulder gently. "You could do something like this too if you worked harder," she said, her tone meant to encourage. But to Lily, the words felt like a dagger. Harder? She already poured her heart into everything she did, yet it never seemed enough. These moments accumulated like pebbles in her shoes, weighing her down with each step. By the time middle school arrived, the gap between Lily and Emma had widened into an abyss. Puberty brought physical changes that only heightened the disparity. Emma grew taller and more radiant, her golden hair cascading down her back like sunlight, while Lily remained petite and unremarkable. Yet amidst the turmoil, Lily began to discover solace in quieter pursuits. She spent hours sketching in her notebook, losing herself in worlds of her own creation. Art became her refuge, a place where she could express emotions too complex for words. Though she still grappled with feelings of inadequacy, these small victories gave her a glimmer of hope, a reminder that she possessed talents uniquely her own. The transition into adolescence was like stepping into a storm for Lily, while Emma seemed to glide effortlessly through the chaos. Puberty brought dramatic changes for Emma. Her figure became more defined, her golden hair grew longer, shimmering under the sun, and her striking blue eyes sparkled with newfound confidence. She stood at 5 feet 9 inches, towering over most of her peers, and every outfit she wore seemed tailored for perfection. Whether it was a simple sundress or a sleek swimsuit, Emma commanded attention wherever she went. Lily, on the other hand, remained petite at 5 feet 3 inches, her curly brown hair still untamed despite countless attempts to straighten it. Her hazel eyes, once described as adorable, now felt dull in comparison to Emma's radiance. While Emma blossomed into a vision of beauty that drew stares from strangers and admiration from friends, Lily struggled to find her place in a world that seemed determined to overlook her. One summer, the family decided to take a vacation to Lake Tahoe, California, a serene retreat surrounded by towering pine trees and crystal-clear waters. The lake stretched across 122,000 acres, its surface reflecting the azure sky like a mirror. It was supposed to be a relaxing getaway, but for Lily, it turned into yet another reminder of how far she lagged behind her sister. On their second day, the family spent hours lounging by the water. Emma wore a white bikini that accentuated her toned figure, drawing admiring glances from everyone around them. A group of teenagers nearby couldn't help but stare, whispering among themselves about how stunning she looked. One man, perhaps in his late 20s, even approached without permission and snapped a photo of Emma, claiming he wanted to capture such natural beauty. Lily, dressed in a modest floral one-piece swimsuit, sat quietly under the shade of an oak tree, watching the scene unfold. She had carefully chosen the swimsuit, hoping it would make her feel confident. But no one noticed her. Not a single compliment, not even a fleeting glance. Instead, she felt invisible, swallowed whole by the shadow of her sister's brilliance. Later that evening, as they gathered around the campfire roasting marshmallows, Emma regaled the family with stories of her latest modeling gig. "They said I have the perfect look for high fashion," she announced, her voice filled with excitement. Their parents beamed with pride, showering her with praise. Lily listened silently, poking at the fire with a stick, her heart heavy with resentment. "You're so lucky, Emma," their father said, clapping her on the back. "You've got everything going for you." Lily forced a smile, pretending to be happy for her sister, but inside, she felt like screaming. Why did everyone see Emma as the epitome of success while she was treated as an afterthought? Back at school, the disparity between the two sisters only deepened. Emma continued to thrive socially, becoming the president of the student council and leading various school events. Her charisma made her a natural leader, and teachers often praised her ability to inspire others. Meanwhile, Lily threw herself into academics and art, seeking solace in activities that didn't require social interaction. One particularly painful moment occurred during a local beauty pageant. Emma entered the competition on a whim, encouraged by her friends, and walked away with the crown. The auditorium erupted in applause as she stood center stage, tears of joy streaming down her face. Lily watched from the audience, clapping politely, but her hands trembled with frustration. That same week, Lily had applied to join an elite art club at school, hoping to showcase her talent. When the rejection letter arrived, it felt like a dagger to her already fragile self-esteem. "Your work shows potential, but it lacks the originality we're looking for," the note read. Potential. The word echoed in her mind, mocking her efforts. Emma tried to console her, saying, "Art isn't everything, Lily. You're amazing in your own way." But Lily couldn't shake the feeling of failure. Every rejection, every overlooked achievement chipped away at her confidence, leaving her questioning whether she would ever measure up. As high school progressed, Emma's life became a whirlwind of glamour and excitement. She traveled to New York City for a photo shoot, attended exclusive parties in Los Angeles, and mingled with celebrities at red carpet events. Each visit home brought tales of adventure that left Lily feeling inadequate. One Christmas, Emma returned from Paris, her suitcase filled with designer clothes and gifts for the family. As they sat in the living room exchanging presents, Emma recounted her experiences with animated enthusiasm. "The Eiffel Tower was breathtaking, Lily," she gushed. "And guess what? A famous director wants to cast me in his next film." Lily smiled weakly, trying to muster genuine happiness for her sister. But beneath the surface, jealousy simmered. While Emma lived a life of luxury and adventure, Lily's days were filled with mundane routines, studying for exams, practicing sketches, and avoiding social gatherings where she felt out of place. Her relationship with Mark, whom she met during her sophomore year of college, initially provided some relief from these feelings. Mark, an English major with a passion for poetry, appreciated Lily's creativity and supported her dreams. He attended her gallery showings, offered thoughtful critiques, and encouraged her to pursue her passions. For the first time, Lily felt seen and valued for who she was. But even Mark couldn't shield her from the constant comparisons. During a casual dinner with his friends, someone asked about Lily's family. "Oh, my sister's a model and actress," she replied hesitantly, bracing herself for the inevitable reaction. "Wow, that's impressive," one of them exclaimed. Mark, who had been sipping wine, chimed in enthusiastically. "If you think Lily is pretty, you should see her sister." He pulled out his phone and began scrolling through Emma's Instagram feed, showing off photos of her posing in designer dresses and walking down runways. The room fell silent as everyone oohed and awed over Emma's pictures. "She could be a supermodel," someone remarked. Lily felt her cheeks burn with humiliation. The evening, which had started so promisingly, now felt tainted. Mark's comment wasn't malicious, he genuinely admired Emma's beauty, but to Lily, it felt like another blow to her already battered self-esteem. That night, lying awake beside Mark, Lily replayed the scene in her mind. She wanted to confront him, to explain how much his words had hurt, but fear held her back. What if he didn't understand? What if he thought she was being overly sensitive? Over the following weeks, Lily distanced herself emotionally, retreating into her shell. She avoided social media, dreading the flood of likes and comments on Emma's posts. Despite Mark's repeated apologies and attempts to make amends, the wound remained raw. Through conversations with close friends and introspection, Lily began to realize that her relationship with Mark was built on shaky ground. His lack of sensitivity toward her vulnerabilities highlighted deeper issues of respect and understanding. Comments from others reinforced this realization. He didn't just casually acknowledge that OP's sister was beautiful, he basically insulted his girlfriend and proceeded to show off her sister to impress his friends, one commenter wrote. Another added, "Imagine what the future will be like with this guy. Hey, everybody, come check out this gorgeous woman I know. No, not my wife, her sister." These perspectives forced Lily to confront difficult truths about her relationship. She deserved someone who saw her unique beauty and valued her above all else, not someone who prioritized impressing others over respecting her feelings. Ultimately, Lily made the painful decision to end her relationship with Mark. It was a turning point in her journey towards self-empowerment. Through therapy and support from loved ones, she learned to embrace her individuality and celebrate her unique qualities. In the end, Lily realized that her worth wasn't defined by how others perceived her, but by the strength, creativity, and compassion she carried within herself. And that realization was the greatest gift of all. The day of the lakeside gathering arrived, and Lily felt a mix of excitement and nervousness bubbling inside her. This was supposed to be one of the happiest moments of her life, a chance to share the news of their engagement with Mark's closest friends. The cabin, nestled among towering pine trees on the shores of Lake Tahoe, offered a serene backdrop for the occasion. The lake stretched out endlessly before them, its surface shimmering under the golden rays of the late afternoon sun. It was picturesque, almost magical, with fairy lights strung across the cozy living area and rustic furniture adding warmth to the setting. As they drove up to the cabin, Mark reached over and squeezed Lily's hand, his eyes filled with love and anticipation. "This is going to be great, Lily," he said reassuringly. "They're going to be so happy for us." Lily nodded, forcing a smile, though a knot of anxiety tightened in her stomach. She had always been self-conscious around new people, especially when it came to comparisons with Emma. But tonight wasn't about Emma, it was about them. Or so she thought. When they arrived, Mark's friends greeted them warmly, their laughter and chatter filling the air. Dinner was a lively affair, prepared by Alex, one of Mark's college buddies who happened to be an excellent cook. The table groaned under the weight of grilled vegetables, succulent steaks, and homemade desserts. Conversation flowed easily, and Lily found herself relaxing slightly, enjoying the camaraderie and warmth of the group. After dinner, everyone moved to the spacious deck overlooking the lake. The sun had begun its descent, casting a golden glow over the water. Mark exchanged a glance with Lily, signaling that the moment had come. He stood up, drawing everyone's attention. "Hey, everyone, can I have your attention for a minute?" Mark began, his voice brimming with excitement. "Lily and I have some news we'd like to share with you all." The group quieted down, all eyes turning toward them. Lily felt a rush of anticipation as Mark continued, "We're getting married." A chorus of cheers erupted, followed by applause. Friends rushed forward to congratulate them, hugging Lily and clinking glasses of champagne. For a brief moment, Lily allowed herself to bask in the joy of the moment. But then, the conversation shifted. "So, Lily, do you have any siblings?" Jenna, one of Mark's friends, asked curiously. "Yes, I have an older sister, Emma. She's a model and actress, Lily replied, smiling politely. Wow, a model and actress? That's impressive. Jenna remarked, her tone filled with admiration. It was at this moment that everything changed. Mark, who had been enjoying a few drinks throughout the evening, chimed in loudly, if you guys think Lily is pretty, you should see her sister. He pulled out his phone and began scrolling through Emma's Instagram feed, showing off photos of her posing in designer dresses, walking down runways, and attending glamorous events. She's gorgeous, someone exclaimed. Wow, she could be a supermodel, another added. No wonder she's in the industry. Lily felt her heart sink. The evening, which had started so beautifully, now felt tainted. Mark's comment and the subsequent admiration for Emma's photos made her feel small and insignificant. She forced a smile, trying to hide her discomfort, but inside, she was reeling. Every word felt like a dagger piercing her soul. The constant comparisons to Emma, the feeling of being overshadowed, it all came rushing back in that moment. She tried to engage in the conversation, nodding politely, but her mind was elsewhere. Anger, hurt, and humiliation swirled within her, each emotion amplifying the other. As the night wore on, Lily couldn't shake the feeling of betrayal. Mark's words echoed in her mind, a harsh reminder of the insecurities she had battled for so long. It wasn't just about the comment itself, it was the realization that even her own boyfriend seemed to find Emma more attractive than her. Eventually, unable to bear it any longer, Lily excused herself and went inside, needing a moment to collect her thoughts. She stood in the kitchen, staring out the window at the darkening lake. Tears pricked at the corners of her eyes as the weight of the evening crashed down on her. When the gathering finally wound down and they headed to bed, the silence between them was heavy. Mark, Lily began, her voice trembling, why did you say that about Emma tonight? You showed them her photos. Do you have any idea how that made me feel? Mark turned to face her, confusion written across his features. What do you mean? You said, if everyone thinks I'm pretty, they should see my sister, Lily explained, her voice breaking. Then you showed them her photos. Do you have any idea how humiliating that was? Realization dawned on Mark's face, and he reached out to take her hand. Lily, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean it like that. I was just trying to show them how amazing your family is. But that's how it felt, Lily said, pulling her hand away. It felt like you were saying she's more beautiful than me, like I'm not enough. And in front of all your friends. Mark's expression softened, and he looked genuinely remorseful. I didn't think about it that way. Please forgive me, Lily. You know I love you and think you're beautiful. His words, though sincere, did little to ease the pain. The damage had been done, and Lily couldn't simply brush it off. It's not just about tonight, she said quietly. It's about always being compared to Emma. I thought you understood how hard that is for me. I do understand, Mark insisted. I was just being stupid and careless. Please forgive me. I didn't mean to hurt you. Lily wanted to believe him, to let go of the hurt and move on. But the comment had struck a deep nerve. It wasn't something she could easily forget. I need some time, she said finally. I need to process this. Mark nodded, his eyes filled with regret. Take all the time you need, Lily. I'll be here when you're ready to talk. The decision to enter a relationship with Mark was not one Lily made lightly. It was a stormy night in late October when she finally confronted the truth that had been gnawing at her for weeks. Sitting alone on the balcony of her small apartment in downtown Chicago, the city lights twinkling like distant stars against the dark sky, Lily replayed every moment of their time together, the laughter, the love, and ultimately, the pain. Her heart ached as she realized that despite Mark's best intentions, his actions had consistently undermined her self-worth. The comment about Emma during the lakeside gathering wasn't just an isolated incident, it was symptomatic of deeper issues rooted in a lack of respect and understanding. Lily knew that staying in the relationship would mean continuing to live in Emma's shadow, always feeling inadequate and invisible. She imagined a future where Mark might repeat similar mistakes, prioritizing external validation over her emotional well-being. The thought filled her with dread. That night, as rain began to patter softly against the windows, Lily made up her mind. She would leave Mark, not out of anger or spite, but because she deserved better. Someone who saw her unique beauty, someone who valued her for who she truly was. The next morning, Lily invited Mark to meet her at Millennium Park, a place they both cherished for its serene beauty. As they stood beneath the iconic Cloud Gate sculpture, its mirrored surface reflecting the gray autumn sky, Lily took a deep breath and spoke. Mark, she began, her voice trembling but resolute, I've thought long and hard about this, and I think we need to part ways. Mark's face paled, shock evident in his wide eyes. What? Why? He stammered, reaching for her hand. It's not just about what happened at the cabin, Lily explained, pulling away gently. It's about everything, the constant comparisons, the way I felt overshadowed my entire life. I can't keep living like this. I deserve someone who sees me for who I am, not someone who looks past me. Mark opened his mouth to protest, but no words came out. Instead, tears welled up in his eyes. For the first time, he seemed to fully grasp the depth of Lily's pain. I'm so sorry, Lily, he whispered. I never wanted to hurt you. I know, Lily replied softly. But sometimes even good people make choices that cause harm. This isn't about blame, it's about growth. We both deserve happiness, but I don't think we'll find it together. As Mark walked away, shoulders slumped under the weight of regret, Lily felt a strange mix of sadness and relief. It was over. But more importantly, it was a new beginning. In the weeks that followed, Lily threw herself into her work and personal healing. With the support of her close-knit group of friends, she attended therapy sessions twice a week, exploring the roots of her insecurities and learning to reframe her narrative. One afternoon, while sipping coffee at a cozy cafe near Lincoln Park Zoo, Sarah leaned across the table and said, "You're stronger than you realize, Lily. You've always been enough, you just needed to believe it." Those words resonated deeply within Lily. Slowly but surely, she began to rebuild her confidence. She started painting again, pouring her emotions onto canvas in bold strokes of color. Each piece became a testament to her journey, a visual diary of resilience and self-discovery. One evening, as she worked on a particularly poignant painting titled Breaking Free, her phone buzzed. It was a call from Emma. Though their relationship had grown strained over the years, Emma's voice carried warmth and sincerity. "Lily," she began hesitantly, "I heard about you and Mark. He's not the right guy for you. You deserve someone who truly sees your inner beauty, someone who doesn't just admire your achievements but cherishes your soul." For a moment, Lily was silent, caught off guard by her sister's unexpected insight. Then, she smiled faintly. "Thank you, Emma. That means a lot coming from you." Emma's words ignited something within Lily, a renewed determination to embrace her individuality and pursue her passions unapologetically. Inspired, she decided to organize her first solo art exhibition, titled Shadows and Light. Held at a trendy gallery in the West Loop neighborhood, the event drew a diverse crowd of art enthusiasts, friends, and even strangers curious about her story. As Lily stood before a large canvas depicting two figures, one overshadowed by darkness, the other bathed in radiant light, she addressed the audience. "This collection is about overcoming the shadows that hold us back," she said, her voice steady and clear. "It's about finding strength and vulnerability and learning to see ourselves through a lens of compassion." The applause that followed was thunderous, a testament to the profound impact of her work. For the first time in her life, Lily felt truly seen, not as Emma's younger sister, but as an artist, a creator, and a woman worthy of admiration. Months later, as she reflected on her journey, Lily realized that breaking free from societal expectations and toxic relationships had been the hardest yet most rewarding decision of her life. She understood now that true happiness didn't come from external validation but from embracing her authentic self. Her story concluded with a simple yet powerful message: we spend so much of our lives seeking approval from others, but real fulfillment only comes when we learn to accept and love ourselves. And sometimes, that means walking away from things and people that no longer serve us.